In this video, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 things that real estate agents need to stop doing in order to maximize their success. Most of the things on this list are going to be able to help any agent, doesn't matter how many transactions you're doing a year. And then a couple of them are going to be geared towards new agents because I know a lot of newer agents are watching my channel. The first one I want to talk about, and I think this is going to be a little bit controversial, is social media. You need to stop spending so much time on social media. Now, don't get me wrong, social media can be a great way to generate business, to build your business. In fact, I actually recommend that you do social media. However, most agents are doing it wrong. I see so many agents get in the business. They think that posting on Instagram and Facebook is going to generate them all of this business, and they're not going to need to learn the foundational principles of selling real estate, like prospecting, also known as lead generation, and lead follow-up. So they neglect traditional sales skills. If you're solely relying on social media to grow your real estate business, there's a good chance that you're going to fail. I've seen so many agents the last 10 years that I've been a real estate agent that have come and gone. And I'll tell you what they do really good for that first year is they post on social media a lot. There's specific things they need to do though with social media in order to generate business from it. If you're just thinking that traditional social media is going to work for you, like things that you were doing before you got your real estate license, well, I gotta tell you, it's a little bit different. And there are specific things that you need to put in place. So don't just wing social media. You gotta have a strategy behind it, and you still need to develop great sales skills, even with a social media presence. The second thing, and this is probably more geared towards newer agents, it's so funny. Every time someone gets their real estate license, I feel like they make their Facebook business page, they spend hours on it, and they send out an invite to every person they know to like their page. I mean, I could go to my Facebook right now and probably see, not even kidding, probably over 1,000 invitations for me to like other realtors' business pages. Do you think that I'm going to do business with 1,000 different agents all across the nation? No, and neither are the people in their local market. Really, the only reason you should even have a business Facebook page as a real estate agent if you're going to run ads. Like, that's it. You should be using your personal Facebook page, Instagram, maybe TikTok, YouTube, but business Facebook pages are, for the most part, where businesses go to die. So please do not send me any more requests to like your business page. It doesn't work. It's a waste of time. So many of the strategies I'm talking about are things that agents do, tricking themselves into thinking that they're being productive and they're going to make money, but they're not. Business cards. Honestly, I never carried business cards. I think for my first year, because I was excited about getting into real estate and actually having business cards, maybe I did a little bit. Agents make it a big deal. They go get their headshot, they spend hours having it designed, or they're designing it themselves, even worse. And before you know it, they got a week invested in their business card that nobody really cares about. What do you do when someone gives you a business card? I'll tell you what I do. I put it in the trash at the first chance I get. Here's a great script for you when you're out with your friends, you're doing your thing, you're at a coffee shop and you are in line and someone starts chatting you up about how your day's going and what you do for work, and it turns naturally to real estate. You simply say, hey, actually, I don't have any business cards on me. Let me get your contact information. Because if you're handing out a business card, you're on defense. You're hoping they call you. Your business card's going in the trash or the washing machine, one of the two. So you wanna make sure that you're getting their contact information. Or better yet, hey, actually, I don't carry any business cards, but let me add you on Facebook. Let me add you on Instagram. We live in a social media world. We live in a social world. People are not saving business cards. So save yourself some money and time and don't really worry about it. The only use that I ever had for business cards was putting them in a presentation folder because there was a spot for it on the pocket where I put my listing presentation to leave with the client. You don't even need that. So that was 1, 2, and 3, and now we're on 4. Stop wasting time at the office. People with nothing to do want somebody to do it with. You know, when I was at Keller Williams, now I'm at eXp Realty, so it's virtual, but when I was actually at a brick and mortar office, I saw so many agents wasting time. And naturally, I'm a people person. I would want to hang out and talk to them. But what I realized was I was stealing from myself and my family because I wasn't focusing on income producing activities. And I'll tell you what, it's great to have awesome relationships with agents in your office, and I recommend you do that, but just make sure that you're purposeful about it. So many times I would run into the office to get something, or I'd go there to maybe print something. Next thing I know, 20 minutes later, somebody's been talking my ear off, and now I just missed out on 20 minutes that I could have been doing some prospecting or lead follow-up. And it's really not beneficial. One way to combat this without really just having to tell people like, hey, I can't talk to you right now, is to always like move and act with a purpose. Like if you're moving through the office fast, or if you're on the phone while you're at the office, it's less likely that agents will come up to you and want to waste your time. Number 5, networking events. Stop going to networking events. I believe that you should only be focused on things that are duplicatable and repeatable. I believe that sales is a numbers game. Yeah, sure, it's a relationship game too, and I talk a lot about that with building your nurture farm and all these things that you can do to generate business that isn't directly tied to, it being a numbers game. But if you're an agent who needs to do business now, like I was when I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, not knowing anybody, and sold 36 houses my second year because I treated it like a numbers game, I followed a duplicatable, repeatable process, like that's what works. I went to a couple networking events, and maybe it's just the introvert in me that was coming out, but I wasn't really comfortable there just meeting strangers. Maybe you are, but even if you go to a networking event, say once a week, how many people can you really meet there? 10? Like if you're really good? And how meaningful are those conversations? It's a really slow way to build your database in a very untargeted way. And the people you're meeting are probably meeting other real estate agents too. So now you're competing with other agents. So I just don't think networking events are a great use of your time. Sure, if you like networking events, go to them, build those relationships. Like those things are all great, but just don't think that's a proven strategic way to build your business. Door knocking. Yes, I said it, door knocking. I despise door knocking. I did it a handful of times. I listed some homes through door knocking, but when it comes to door knocking, it's just not an efficient way to generate business. You gotta walk from house to house, you gotta drive to the neighborhood. If it starts raining, you gotta leave. If it's too hot, you can't go because you're gonna die of heat stroke. Like there's so many variables with the weather, the neighbor's dog coming out at you, and now you gotta run across the street, or the police are getting called on you because there's no soliciting. Like there's a lot of variables. Sure, door knocking can work, but when phone prospecting works even better, why not just prospect through the phones? So door knocking as a primary strategy, I don't like it. It's not targeted. I always want a targeted approach. If you can pick up the phone and call sellers, expired listings for sale by owners who wanted to sell within the last couple of weeks, couple of months, couple of years even, it's better than just going up to random doors, seeing when they're looking to make a move. I do think door knocking has its place. Say you just list a house. Go knock the 25 nearest neighbors and let them know, hey, I just listed the house over at 123 Main Street. We're going to be listing it at $350,000. Do you know anyone that might be looking to move into the neighborhood? No, you don't? Great. Well, just out of curiosity, when do you plan on moving? Like that's targeted. Now you're using your shop, your storefront, that listing to create a conversation. If you just sold the property, that's proof of success. Go tell the neighbors. That's targeted. I like that form of door knocking. Number 7, stop wasting your time and money on Facebook and Google pay-per-click leads. Sure, you can generate cheap leads, but do you really want to generate 100 leads at the tune of $1,000 to $1,500 to close one deal? That's the average, 1%. So if you generate 100 leads, you might close one. That means you're going to get leads that literally put their name down as Mickey Mouse. Then you're probably laughing right now if you've done this before because you've gotten that Mickey Mouse lead. But even if they're all leads with like full contact information that you could reach out, do you really want to reach out to 100 people and pay almost $1,500 to generate one sale? There's just ways that are more efficient. If you want to spend money on buyer leads, and again, these are buyer leads that you're generating it. It's not even listings, and listings, right? That's what we really want because it's leverage, right? That's a leveraged form of real estate. But if you want buyer leads, go for something like Zillow or Realtor.com. These are just higher quality leads. Number 8, stop not being strategic with your circle of influence and your past clients. You should have a VIP marketing system, and I have a video that I'll link up in the description that you can check out. RedX actually interviewed me, and I laid out all of my top tips around how to market to your database to get more referrals. If you're not being purposeful about this, and if you're not really utilizing this as a pillar of your business, and you're just, again, winging it in this area, or worse, not even reaching out to your friends, family, past clients, you're missing out on a lot of business. You want to get to the point where eventually 80+% comes from referral. That's the best way to do business. Who wouldn't want to do business with people who know, like, and trust them versus the Mickey Mouse lead that they just got from Facebook? Number 9, not building your database, not being purposeful about building your database. Your database is your business. So if you're not always adding contacts to your database, your business isn't growing. You can do this by prospecting, seller prospecting, expireds, for sale by owners. You could really circle prospect. You could be door knocking, like I said, around just listed or just sold properties. You could be going to your networking events. There's so many different ways to build your database, but if you're not purposefully building your database, you're really missing out on a big opportunity and you're making this way harder than it needs to be. And number 10 is not having a schedule. If you don't have a schedule, well, you don't have a business. If you showed me your schedule right now, I can tell you in the ballpark of how much money you're going to make, because if it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. I should see, when I look at your schedule, time blocks of all your income producing activities. I should see your time blocks of when you're going to set appointments. I should see your time blocks for when you're going to work out. Now, of course, every week isn't going to work out perfectly, and you might have a time block for when you want to set appointments and you don't set appointments. Well, what do? Well, then you move a lead gen time block into your appointment time block. If you have to erase something, you replace it. So if you have to erase, say, a morning prospecting session because you had a doctor's appointment, well, replace it. Work a Saturday. So just be thinking about these, write it down. If it's not in your schedule, it doesn't exist. So if you don't have these activities that you want to be doing, like lead generation, going on listing appointments, if it's not in your schedule, it's not going to happen. And then also, if you erase it, make sure you replace it. So those are my top 10 things that agents should stop doing. And I know some of them kind of were like, you should stop doing it, but if you did do it, you should do it like this. And that was on purpose. So hopefully you got some strategies from this that you can utilize in your business to make more money over the next 12 months. And as always, if you got value from this video, hit the subscribe button, give me a like, and if you want to check out my free course on expired prospecting, there's a link in the description. Again, it's for free, 100%. Just go ahead and click that link and sign up. All right, we'll see you guys.